What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. It's an all horse racing show today. No sports except for Papa Dude's best bet, but all horse racing today because we have 4 Kentucky Derby prep races going on today. A very big day of racing. Listen, Kevin O, we'll start off with this. Which is more likely to lose, Fierceness or Nisos? What is your comment there on that?
Nisos, for a couple of reasons. One, who the hell is beating Fierceness in the Holy Bull? Like, how does he have a bad race there, bad enough race that he loses? But also, Nisos is coming out of the Bob Hope, and that traditionally is not a good race moving forward on the Derby trail. Nisos has looked a lot different than the other Bob Hope winners we've seen in the last half decade, but you've got that factor going for him. He's never gone 2 turns. And Baffert's got 3 horses in there, and it's interesting to me that Juan Hernandez is on Wind Me Up, because I don't think that any of us think he's a legit horse anymore for what we've seen, at least as far as the Derby trail goes. And I think Juan's there because he's already got his Derby horse, or Derby trail horses. He's got Muth, he's got May Moon. Like, between those two, Hernandez is cool. Pratt's got Nisos. Frankie Dettori has come back from retirement to try and win a Kentucky Derby. That's why he's still riding. Bob Baffert tried to get him in the Derby last year, and the horse just didn't make it there. But I think that, Coach Prime is the one horse I think has a chance to beat Nisos in there. So if you have to pick between the two, I'm going to go about Nisos. What about you?
Totally. I think with Fierceness, it's either he doesn't show up and many of them beat him, kind of like the Champagne, or he shows up and it's a domination. Where, Nisos doing something he's never done. A little bit better competition, some horses that are decent in that. So I don't think either one of them are losing, but I do think Nisos is the most likely of the two to lose. All right, with that, let's get to the prep races. Like I said, we're going to run down all 4 of them. We'll start with Oakland Park Race 11, the Southwest Stakes, Grade 3 event here. $800,000 the purse for this race. Incredible. I think when I started going to Oakland, they ran for $150,000 for this one. So anyway, it's a full field, but Maycox Bay did scratch, so I guess it's not quite a full field now, Magic. But who do you like in the Southwest?
But it sucks that he's out because we were trying to beat him in this race, and he was 3-1 favorite, and it's like, shit. That means Carbone's not going to be anywhere close to 9-2 probably. Carbone's my pick. He is by Mitoli, who was a champion sprinter, but first of all, Mitoli related to Hot Rod Charlie, the same dam, so half brother. So Hot Rod Charlie had absolutely zero issue going a mile on the 16th. He had issue like not cutting horses off and making them fall, but he could definitely go a mile on the 16th, just not always a straight line. Mitoli's best race, arguably, if not the Breeders' Cup Sprint, was the Met Mile, and that was the longest he'd run. And so I think a mile on the 16th at Oaklawn, it's wet. I think that plays very favorably to forwardly placed horses. Carbone now breaking from post 6 with the scratch of the rail horse Maycox Bay. I think Carbone is the one to go with here. It's a little bit, it's probably going to end up a little bit chalky here, but it would surprise me if he doesn't show up with at least a huge effort.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go Carbone as well. So we're both together. And look, the little bit of a wet, fast track is how they have it labeled. It is supposed to rain most of the day today. So I think that favors Carbone. It usually favors speed at Oaklawn. So I went with him. Look, I don't really know pace situation, what's going to happen with him. Can he get the distance or not? I'm not quite sure, all this kind of stuff. But I do think he's the best horse in the race as far as a talent perspective goes. I do watch him and watch the other ones and go, you know what? He might be a little bit faster than the rest. So I don't know, Magic. I kind of went back and forth on this, but I think Carbone is just a little bit better than the rest of this field. And I do agree with Mark. I think Maycox Bay was a horrific morning line favorite. I do not think he was going to actually be the favorite. So, yes, we were trying to beat him. Probably try to be like a 6-1 type of shot, than a 3-1. Bree mentions Just Steel. Almost picked him on top, had him in second, working great, sets up decent for him. I'm just not sure he's good enough to win it. So it's going to be fun. All right, let's go to one where it's a little bit more clear cut, at least on paper. Gulfstream Park Race 12, the Holy Bull Stakes. It does feature number 7, Fierceness. He'll take on 7 other rivals here. I don't know if any of them can really match him here. Magic, what do you think?
No, I think you can play a Fierceness into Otello straight cold exact if you want to make money betting this heavy favorite. I don't think so. That's it. Off of that, I don't think that Otello is the most likely upsetter. If Fierceness gets beat, That rail horse Hades is quite interesting. He's undefeated in 2 starts, both at Gulfstream Park. He's a Florida bred, so last time was against Florida bred Allowance Company, but he beat the piss out of him by 8 lengths and has got Paco on the rail. The horse has got speed, so maybe if you're looking to Otella's the second choice at 9-2. If you wanted to try and beat him in the exacta, Hades is a way you could go, but it's fierceness, it's Otello, and the rest I think are just kind of here for a piece of that purse money.
All right, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I think at the end of the day, it's my worry with Hades is he's going to kind of be out there with fierceness early, and he might get his heart broken a little bit today, might back up a little bit once he gets past, and that's when Otello or maybe the 6 horse for Brown, domestic, what the hell wasn't it? Domestic product
Domestic
or whatever.
product,
maybe can catch him late. If I'm looking for a horse to finish second, I want one that's kind of not involved with fierceness early. So I'm kind of with you on that as well. But look, I think the big key to this race for me, if you are sitting there and you go, well, one time he didn't show up with any kind of effort at all, so I'm going to try to beat him. I get that. You don't want to play a horse. You don't have to make up a reason why he's going to lose. You can look at that champagne and go, well, maybe he'll just do that again. And I get it. But at the end of the day, I think he's going to, there's no indication that he's not going to show up. He seems to be pretty strong coming into this race. So we'll see what happens there. The other clear cut one potentially is the Robert B. Lewis race 5 at Santa Anita here. Nisos, the big standout. We kind of talked about how out of him and fierceness, he may be the most vulnerable, but who do you like overall in the Robert B. Lewis?
Yeah, it's Nisos. It's again nothing too shocking here, but the way that he's won his races, it's one of those things where okay, well he's by Nyquist. I know he's a Derby winner, but Nyquist horses haven't come out looking super strong at beyond a mile. But we're going a mile here, and the way he's run in that 6 furlong maiden win, that 7 furlong Bob Hope, he just effortlessly dusting horses by 19 lengths combined. So it's hard for me. And he's not a speed horse. He's not a need the lead that could be at risk of going out there and getting cooked. He can sit on the front end like he did for his debut race, but he can also sit off a little bit like he did in the Bob Hope and just have no problems just kicking away from horses. And that's one of those things that we saw with Sweet Azteca. When a horse ranged up on her yesterday, she just kind of, when they were starting to challenge her, she just effortlessly just pulled away and glided down the stretch. And that's kind of how Nisos has been running his races.
Yeah, I really feel like the mile is perfect for Nisos. I wouldn't be surprised at the end of the year. It's he's one of the favorites in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, and that's my thing. If we're going a mile 16th, mile and an eighth, maybe I look at this and go, well, he's a little vulnerable, but I think he sits the perfect. I think he's going to dust him. I really, really feel good about Nisos today. Look, I think with Coach Prime, I don't absolutely hate him in the spot. I don't think he has the talent level of Nisos. I think you're going to have to hope Nisos doesn't really show up, kind of backs up a little bit, then maybe he can come get him. I kind of like Scatify a little bit as well, but man, any way you look at it, Nisos has just ran much faster races than the rest of this group. So I'm on him as well. Finally, we'll go to Aqueduct for the Withers, race 9 on the card here. If you're looking at this field and go, I haven't heard a lot of these horses, don't feel bad. They're not well-known, Magic, but who do you like in the Withers today?
All right, here's where I'm going for a price. Give me the Rail Horse Speedrunner, one of the 2 Todd Pletcher horses in here. A son of Gun Runner, love that going a mile and eighth, love that in the mud. Jose Lascano is going to ride back after being aboard for the maiden win. This horse's debut attracted Flavian Pratt, and he ran a decent third behind Bilal, who's coming back for Bill Mott. Won over Malarchuk last time out in that maiden race, and Malarchuk hasn't run back since, but Malarchuk in his debut race beat out Stolen Magic. We've already seen Stolen Magic hit the Kentucky Derby Trail and get a win out of that maiden start there. So I'm going to go with Speedrunner. I like the rail draw. I hope that he's more forwardly placed like he was for that mile and an eighth maiden win, and I think having to rail will help. El Grande O, I've got questions about that horse being able to handle the whole mile and an eighth distance. I think he's a good play underneath, but I was trying to beat Lightline, who this was not the intended spot. Drumroll Please was supposed to be here, and then Drumroll Please got hurt, and Cox redirected Lightline away from Oakland Park, where he did a good race behind Carbone after a horrible start, but that's not going to be a good thing that you can get away with at Aqueduct the way the track is playing.
Well, sometimes being rerouted to the Withers instead of the Southwest does work out in your favor when you see the drawing. So he may have got rerouted, but I think it helps him a lot. Look, I am on light line here. I don't love it because it's really hard to love anybody in this race. I just kept watching replays, and I thought, that race last time out at Oakland, even though he got beat by 4 lengths, he put up a massive effort. I thought it was a very, very good effort for him. He broke dead last, way behind the field. He was supposed to be in the kind of the top flight of horses. He came running. He looped them all but Carbone, and he made a wide run on the turn there. I just feel like if he gets out of the gate, he's going to sit 3rd or 4th. And if he has any kind of run down the stretch, he's probably going to beat these horses. That's just how I looked at it. So I'm going to go light line on top in this one. I get it if you don't want to play him, though. I get it if you don't want to play a short price in here. I like your horse Speed Runner. I think he's pretty darn good at Aqueduct. I thought that last race last time out was pretty darn good. He's developing. He wanted the distance. I get that. Our girl Brittany Russell brings Mission Beach up. I thought about that horse for a little bit too. Did you like that one at all?
I like him underneath. He's got the breeding to handle what they're going to ask him to do here. The mud is going to be a good spot for him. He's a Bob Baffert castaway, so that always makes you kind of pause. But Brittany Russell's the one trainer who has been able to take Bob Baffert castaways and turn them into good horses. See, Doppelganger became a Grade 1 winner after leaving Baffert, so I would say I like him underneath. I think 3rd is probably where he's going to be for his ceiling right now for this race, but he's an interesting prospect for that circuit moving forward as well.
Yep, we'll see what happens with him. It's interesting that it's like, we'll just give up on on this one. We'll send it to Brittany, and she does a great job with those kind of horses. So we'll see kind of what happens with that one. All right, let's get to the best bets today. Magic, you're going to a big track, so I'm going to let you go first.
I mean, I was going to pick something for Gulfstream, but if you want Gulfstream picks, buy the Bible. Delta Downs, race 6. I've been doing really well at Delta Dinero, as our friend BB Rodriguez called it. This is a horse, Touch Upon a Star, that you're not going to get a price on. It's been 1-5 the last 3 starts, probably 1-5 again here. But for good reason, the horse is 10 of 13 lifetime and absolutely demolishes Louisiana bred company. Doesn't matter if it's at Fairgrounds, Evangeline's, Delta. This horse is just unbelievably good. Timmy Thornton, big bucks. Timmy Thornton's going to keep the ride. And it's a family affair here. You've got Jeff Delhomme as the trainer, and you've got Jake Delhomme as the owner. So the brothers Delhomme, they also do a lot of great stuff for Louisiana bred program down there. So Touch Upon a Star, you're not going to make much money, but this is supposed to be best bet, my most likely winner that's not in a betting Bible. Number 3, Touch Upon a Star, race 6 at Delta.
Yeah, and speaking of the betting Bible, my first bet of the day running right now at Gulfstream's got about a 3-length lead going into the stretch. We'll see how much run. But bet down to 3-5 was 6-5 leaving the gate. Bet down to 3-5, so nothing to get too excited about. But it's not going to be a loss because she has romped home. So good start for the Bible. But, I think that's going to be the theme of the day. You're going to have to choke down some prices. I never dreamed that horse would be 3-5. I thought 8-5, 7-5, but it's a win. We'll take it. Don't spend that $12 or $14, whatever that pays nicely. Everybody that played that one. So, okay, let's move on to my best bet today. Speaking of Gulfstream Park, and maybe this is wishful thinking, but I think in the 6th race at Gulfstream today, number 5, Born Noble, I think there's enough other horses to bet that people are going to try to take shots with that he will be somewhat of a playable price. Again, could be wishful thinking. We'll see what happens here. But I really like number 5, Born Noble today. I thought the debut race was very good, and he was green in the stretch, and I think they'll take care of that. I think getting that experience, I think he's going to pop a much better race today, honestly, than he did on debut. I am not a workout guy at all, but I did read John White's article. By the way, John White has Born Noble ranked number 2 in his Kentucky Derby rankings. I read John's article, and he said, hey, that he was, I forget where he was watching it, but they were showing workouts of fierceness and how great he looked. And then there was an unidentified horse, as John labeled it, working right there nose and nose with him. That horse was Born Noble. And so John has really been watching the workouts and said, boy, he looks really sharp. So I'm going to go number 5, Born Noble, in the 6th race today at Gulfstream. I think this horse is very, very live, obviously, today. So I'll go Gulfstream Park race 6, number 5. Papa Dude is not here. He's on his way to Edmond, Oklahoma to watch Missouri Southern and Central Oklahoma, but he did phone in a bet. He's going to go Texas Tech -4 today. They are at home hosting the Bearcats of Cincinnati. He thinks, look, Cincinnati going through that first year in the Big 12 basketball is pretty darn tough. Tech at home. Tech's a very good team. He thinks they'll cover that one. So Texas Tech -4 for Papa Dude. All right, Magic. Here's the best bet.
He had that exact in the Bible too.
Papa Dude did
7-1. That was his top 2 plays in the Bible.
Very good. He's off to a good start today. We're feeling good right now. So good job. I'm sure he was watching on his phone as he was driving. I doubt that. All right. So I don't think he would know how to pull it up on his phone. All right, let's get to it here. Best bets for today. I'm going to go Gulfstream Park race 6, number 5, Born Noble. Magic's going to go Delta Downs race 6, number 3, Touch Upon a Star. And Papa Dude's going Texas Tech -4. 5-1 for the week. Papa Dude. Okay. They're up 6 points. Quinnipiac's up 6 points. They're like inbounding the ball. They have the ball. The other team, Manhattan's coming to foul them. They throw out of the foul, throw it down the court. There's nobody there but one of their guys. He catches the ball with like 4 seconds left. Instead of going in for like just a regular layup or dunk, he like messed around and did like some kind of fancy thing and dunked it, but the buzzer had already sounded. So they won by 6. The spread was 6.5. If he just goes in for a regular dunk, Papa Dude wins. So crazy what happened there. But we're 5-1 up to. Go ahead.
Like Papa Dude had said, the damn kid was busy screwing around at those shopping malls in Manhattan instead of focusing on how to make a dunk. That's all you had to do. You had one job, kid. Make the stupid dunk, and you didn't do it.
Oh, it was borderline funny. I mean, we were laughing about it, but anyway. But yeah, anyway. So we're 5-1 up $200 for the week. We are up $1,870 for the year. Magic, what do we got going today?
We have a live show. We're going to start at 12:45 Pacific, so 3:45 Eastern, and then we'll go till about 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, whatever we're done talking about the Holy Bull. But covering that, we are going to start with the Withers at 12:55, and then we're going to go right, bam, into the Martha Washington, Kentucky Oaks prep race at Oakland Park, and then bam, Santa Anita Park for the Bob B. Lewis, then bam, back to Oakland for the Southwest, and then we end with the Holy Bull. The Southwest and Holy Bull have a 3-minute separation for their post times. So we'll be done talking about the Southwest before the Holy Bull goes off. I'm quite sure of
it. Yeah, it's some tight windows, as we say in the business. I don't know that we say that actually. So yeah, all right. Well, let's get out of here now. We got a whole lot going on. We'll see what happens today. Big day of racing. So thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll be back here in a few hours for live coverage of these big prep races.